So Art Online Volume 25 Unital Ring IV finally gave us some backstory about the commander of the Integrity Pilots Eolyne Herlentz, the gentleman who looked awfully lot like Eugeo, and his backstory involves people you already know from the past. Obviously a massive spoiler warning if the title of the video did not tip you off on that. You can still safely leave while I introduce myself as Gamerturk, your best source of SEO information on YouTube, and tell you that you should totally subscribe for the latest news on Art Online. With that out of the way, yes, Eolyne Herlentz in Unital Ring 3 was pretty much one of the biggest cliffhangers we had in the series, on par with Kirito frying his own floodlight at the end of Alicization uniting. And while we seemingly have not gotten all the mysteries about the guy clarified, we do have part of his backstory and lineage available now. So let's start from the beginning, and a huge thanks to BB, Raito, Taka and many others at the SEO Wiki for helping me dive deeper into the latter parts of the book while Gishimenas is busy enjoying his normal paced reading. The surname Herlentz has been revealed to be the surname of Berkuli before he got synthesized into Synthesis 1. The surname was used later down the line by their descendants, including Fanatio and Berkuli's child, Berche, so the revelation of the surname alone directly ties the Integrity Pilot Commander Eolyne into Berkuli's lineage. However, Eolyne, while officially a descendant of Berkuli and Fanatio in name, he is not a blood descendant of the two. And that's where we reach the limitations of his currently known background per Unital Ring IV. You see, Eolyne was not born a Herlentz. He was adopted by the current generation Herlentz family head, Ovas Herlentz, who already had 3 other children when he adopted Eolyne into the lineage, making him become the youngest one. On top of this, we know that the internal family matters kinda became a mess as well. According to Eolyne's assumption, despite not being his biological son, he felt he was loved as much as his real children. But it all kind of started becoming an issue when Eolyne was elected the only person who was assigned to the Integrity Pilots rather than any of his real kids, which naturally made them quite unhappy about the decision. Over time, in quite a short time actually, considering he is 20 years old, Eolyne became from just one of the Integrity Pilots into the commander of the order instead. And that's where we find ourselves at the moment. Now, regarding his looks being awfully lot like Eugeo, in volume 25, Kirito finally acted on the obvious as well and wanted to get an answer. The end result was that he finally checked Eolyne's unit ID to confirm whether he actually was Eugeo or not, and as you can guess from the result in the illustration, he was not. Eolyne's ID was revealed to be NCD1-13091, whereas Eugeo's ID was NND7-6361, officially confirming Eolyne is not Eugeo. However, that still leaves a question open, of course. Why does Eolyne look so much like Eugeo? Personally, I'm still very much leaning into the theory that he is actually Star King and Star Queen's child from during their final years in Underworld. It would kinda make sense that the established Herlentz family would take interest in him enough to adopt him as one of them. It would explain how he was able to so quickly rise the ranks into becoming a commander, and it would explain, in a world where incarnation has a huge effect on the outcome of situations, that he would end up turning out to be like Eugeo due to Kirito's past memories. Again, that is all a theory that is not really based on... Well, we have absolutely no evidence for any kind of theory, so that's basically just a theory right now until we get a proper reveal of his origins, and I certainly do think we will get it in the future. For something to be so obviously an important plot point yet never addressed, that would be weird. But hey, we still don't know how long Unital Ring is gonna take anyways. I certainly expect a massive twist, just like Alicization, where things look like it was certainly the final climax with Kirito and Quinella. The narrative just spun towards an entirely different story with War of Underworld. So yeah, the expectation on my side at this point is whatever Mutasina is building up to, somehow things will start tying into Underworld in a major way, and we'll potentially get that inter-intelligence war somewhere down the line. But that's all I got for you for now on Eolyne Herlentz from Unital Ring IV. If you're interested, we had an hour-long podcast trial thingy with the SEO Wiki overlord Gishimenas before the release of the book, talking about Unital Ring in general, ordinal scale / Accel World connections in Unital Ring, other characters that appear and all that jazz, so if you're interested, I do recommend checking it out. If the interest is there, we can make a new podcast entirely on the events of Unital Ring IV specifically once he finishes reading the book. For all that and more, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more in-depth Art Online coverage and news. Consider becoming a channel member to get access to a special badge and exclusive emotes to use. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook for faster news access, 50k special merch available on my Teespring page, and a huge thanks to all my patrons and channel members as usual. Until next time, stay cool.